Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 7 of Pinpoint. This one's titled The GRA. The next morning, Shoto made his way straight to the GRA and beelined for the front desk. "Good morning, ma'am," he greeted the reception clerk. "I am after a list of gem quirk users from the mountainous regions around here." He didn't bother with trying to cover his questioning, he just asked straight up, eager to continue his search now that he had some good leads. The receptionist eyed him over the top of her glasses. "And who might you be?" she asked briskly. "Oh, I beg your pardon, ma'am," Shoto said with a slight bow, reaching into his pocket to retrieve his hero license. "My name is Shoto Todoroki, hero name Shoto. I require this information in relation to a case." "My own personal case," he corrected in his thoughts. He handed his license to the clerk and she glanced over it quickly before handing it back. "Of course, Shoto," she said, relaxing a little. "Due to the nature of this quirk, it is our responsibility to keep these wielders safe by monitoring everyone who inquires about their skill. Thus," she pulled out a declaration slip, "we would ask if you would kindly state that it was you that retrieved some information, and thus make yourself known, should anything happen to anyone on the list that you inquire about." "But of course," Shoto replied enthusiastically, "it is in my best interest to keep these people safe as well. I have no concerns putting my name down as someone who has retrieved information." And with that he picked up a pen and signed the form. The clerk smiled and showed him through the doors to the registry. "We have profiles on each user here, but you need additional clearance to view individual files. You can, however, view the locations of the gem quirk wielders and get a list of the family names." "That's what I'm after," Shoto said, gazing around the room at the wall-to-wall shelves stocked with information. "Which location were you after in particular?" the clerk asked, walking down the aisle with him. "Mountain region, please," Shoto said, his tone a little bit more upbeat than usual. The clerk nodded. "This way, sir." Her eyes darted quickly back and forth as she located the files for Shoto. "Ah, here they are," she said, reaching for a medium folder from the shelf. "These are the family names of the gem quirk wielders from mountain regions within 100 kilometres of here. Is this what you were after?" She glanced at Shoto over her glasses again. "Yes, thank you, ma'am," he said, taking the folder eagerly from her hands. "Would you mind if I took a seat and had a read through it?" "Oh, not at all," the clerk replied. "There are tables and chairs set up at the back of the room over there," she pointed. "When you're done, please ring the bell by the door, and I'll come and take the folder." She smiled up at him. Shoto nodded, taking the folder in both hands like an excited child, and then walked quickly to the chairs and tables and sat down. He flipped the cover open and briefly read a few initial documents, flicking through the pages impatiently. Finally his eyes landed on a list of family names and details surrounding each name. He quickly jotted the family names down, as well as their addresses, in his phone notebook. Family 1, Kagayaku. Family 2, Hoseki. Family 3, Ikisu. Family 4, your last name with Su on the end. And Family 5, Kichona. He flipped through the rest of the folder, but there were no other important pieces of information, so he closed it up and took it to the door, ringing the bell for the receptionist. He thanked the clerk again for her help and then headed back to his office. Unfortunately, he'd have to wait until the following day to continue his pursuits of you, as he had some important meetings to attend. He reached his building and walked inside. He only had a few minutes before the afternoon's meetings would commence, so he quickly greeted the workers there and then excused himself to his office. Walking over to his desk, he ripped off a small piece of paper from the notepad that was sitting there and scribbled the names and addresses down, stuffing the paper into his pants pocket. "I will clear my schedule for tomorrow and take the day off to chase up these leads," he thought, one part of him wanting to ditch today's meetings and go right then. "I'll find her, if it's the last thing I do." And that's the end of chapter 7. Stay tuned for chapter 8.